Good morning. This is Keith Lampe on the 40th Earth Day with a suggestion that we have a moment of silence on this occasion, and also a suggestion that maybe we can use this occasion for an expansion of bioregionalism. So if you'll bear with me for a few minutes, I'll work into both of those. In February or March of 1970, I was phoned by a chap who wanted me to make an Earth Day speech in Colorado. I still remember so strongly the quality of his voice. I was shocked. He sounded like a slick corporation executive. Until then, I'd been relating environmentally only to hippies, diggers, and the like. I told him I didn't want to pollute the atmosphere traveling from California to Colorado, and that he should find an eco-commentator from that region to make the speech. It wasn't immediately clear, though, that Earth Day 70 would mark the start of the corporate kiss of death for the U.S. environmental movement, but it sure is now. Part of what has been lost to history, because I didn't allow Herder and Herder to publish my Earth Readout news service in book form, is that at the time of the first Earth Day, there was an edge of Civil War feeling among radical activists, especially those of the American Indian movement. The introduction to my Spring Equinox 70 issue is a rather good reflection of this. At that time I said, "Dear editors, subscribers, and readers, enclosed you'll find the Holocene Gazette and Country Traveler, published by our brothers and sisters who live in what remains of the upland temperate deciduous forest. You'll also find our first special issue, an issue we hope will establish a regionalist perspective from which a radical regionalist politics can be constructed. The 10 regions we've suggested are, of course, only a beginning. As regionalist consciousness grows deeper and better informed, these great regions will give way to a larger number of more specific regions. At that point, it should be possible for people to create regional councils, strongly independent of the old city, county, state, nation frames. Meanwhile, it seems inadvisable to participate on any basis, even that of satire, in the present electoral processes. To become part of a truly regional perspective, ERO itself must go through changes. For example, we presently have a national mailing list. We propose that people in each region begin their own eco-newsletters. We then will send you that part of our mailing list which corresponds to your region. ERO also is beginning a de-subscription drive. We've become victims of the eco-fad, and as such have become just one more growth industry. We began in mid-May of 1969 with a mailing list of 70. We now mail to 630 places. At present rates of expansion, neatly folded copies of Earth Readout by the year 2038 will be expanding outward from the planet at the speed of sound. If you don't need ERO, please let us know, and we'll remove you from the list. Remember 4 changes, quote, "True affluence is not needing anything." Part of the ERO staff leaves Berkeley March 27 to establish a rural base, and ERO will continue to occur from the Bay Area, but with less frequency and regularity. The notion of weekly, fortnightly, monthly is an artifice we no longer wish to acquiesce in. ERO will occur as events suggest, or perhaps will evolve a rhythm tuned to the moon. A rough guess is you'll hear from ERO Californian next full moon, and from the other ERO to be named New Moon after that. ERO has been losing money since its inception. This issue costs $300 instead of the usual $50. ERO California needs some financial help from those who can comfortably afford it. The Holocene Gazette people also need some money. It seems to us that the more progressive underground newspapers might contribute $5 or $10 monthly, retroactive to their first use of ERO. Power to the people, the birds, the animals, the fishes, the insects, the grasses, the vegetables, the grains, the fruit, the berries, the trees. P.S. Here's an important excerpt we were unable to squeeze into ERO number 22 from the San Francisco Chronicle of February 27th, recounting the third day of the Isla Vista, California insurrection. Quote, as the walls fell in, the rioters shrieked, "Burn, baby, burn! Death to the corporations!" and "Bank of America breaks human laws." Sheriff's Captain Fritz Patterson, asked for the official view on motivation for the disturbances, said, "Several theories have been postulated. I don't think you could assign all the weight to any one. First, there is the ecological interest in Santa Barbara due to the 1960 oil blowout." From these paragraphs, it's clear that from the very beginning, Earth Day was a cynical co-optation of cutting-edge eco-energies. These paragraphs also make that clearer. Ecology and the police state revisited. It is unpleasant to have to talk about the American police state. Much easier on the nervous system just to acquiesce in the general coyness. Present indications are that the teach-ins scheduled for April 22nd on hundreds of U.S. campuses will be controlled in such a way as to provide mostly a keep clean Northern white liberal Democrat forum and thus not deal frankly with the problems imposed by the police state. Okay, the teach-ins mentioned there 40 years ago were those of the first Earth Day as they seemed 7 weeks prior to it. The occasion itself was indeed that effete. Yeah, thanks to the Earth Day mercenaries, the notion of burning a local bank or of paralyzing traffic in the centers of cities, as 1,500 predominantly hippies did in Eugene, Oregon in 1969, gradually degenerated into mere books and speeches and appearances on talk shows. The regional consciousness of that period soon came to be called bioregionalism. Unfortunately, it also degenerated in that its original yin-yang wholeness gave way to a predominantly yin behavior as exemplified in an ongoing U.S. bioregional project in Ecuador involving the eco-friendliest ways of recovering from an extreme weather event. Okay, I'm running out of time here, so I'm trying to skip some stuff and I'll be right back with you. All right, here we go. If one were nevertheless to participate in Earth Day today, I suggest that the most appropriate action is to observe a moment of silence for all the new energy inventors murdered by agents of King Kong. Many thanks to Gary Vesperman for providing this list of murdered inventors. Nicholas Tesla, Dean Warwick, who invented amplifier efficient wood burning stoves, Gianni A. Dotto, Ari M. de Hoos, and 2 inventors of the Model T Ford generator with magnets added. All honor to their names. Thank you.